Hello, everyone. My name is Ashley Tarver, and I am a student academic services specialist here at Emory University. And I am here today to have a high-level conversation with you about transfer credit appeals and what that process looks like. This is tailored specifically for students who are transferring into Emory University from various colleges and universities from all over the country. And this is to help kind of guide you in that process of getting credits or petitioning to receive credit for courses that you have already taken at your previous university or college. So let's talk a little bit about the process. It's pretty straightforward. You all decided you wanted to come to Emory University, and we're so happy that you did. And as a consequence, there are just some basic things that you're going to have to do. Mainly, the first is obviously submit an application for admissions. That took place. And then once that happened, you had to submit an official transcript to Emory University from your original school to request credit for the courses that you had already taken. There are some nuances that will happen depending on the degree that you ultimately decide to choose or to pursue. But I'm going to try to just, again, give you some high level information. So the initial review goes to admissions. So first thing I'll say is if you do know there are some courses you have some questions about, some credits you want transferred, make sure that you've done step one before you submit an application for transfer credit appeal. So it's going to go to the admissions office. They will review it. They use the same parameters that I use when I review the application. So it's kind of like an initial read. They'll let you know what credits are going to initially transfer and what credits will not. And then you all receive that information. And from there, you ultimately have to decide if you are okay with what was submitted and what Emory is going to take, or you have an opportunity to appeal. And that's where I come in. So there is application that you all will have access to. The application is officially open and opened up at the beginning of the month. And you submit it. And in the application, there's just some basic information that has to be uploaded. The application then comes to me, and then I send it to the various departments to review. And ultimately, actual professors from those departments will make the final decision about what credits do and do not transfer and what those credits can be applied to. That update comes back to me, and then I send that final decision back to admissions, and admissions will then communicate that to you and also put the credits on your updated transcript that will start you off here at Emory University. So we talk about some of the guidelines for this. Certain things are just going to be waived. So it's called like Emory College Seminars 101. Think of these really as going to be like freshman orientation courses. The majority of you all have finished your freshman, and some of you even your sophomore year. So there's really just not an expectation that you're going to have time to go back to do that. Majority of you all are trying to check off boxes for prerequisites. You can go straight into your major courses. So those are waived. And there are equivalent credits that will not be awarded. Some will be things like for race and ethnicity and continued communication. These are courses that, regardless, at Emory University, you must take here at Emory. It is just a requirement. Those departments specifically have requested so. As far as credits go, your degree seeking classes that you've taken, you're not going to be able to transfer those to Emory. So what is available for you to transfer are going to be 100 and 200 level courses. Also, you only can transfer up to 62 credit hours. And if you have over that, then up until that amount, if you have over that amount, you do have some say-so in what credits you want to choose to keep and what credits you are willing to drop as you transition from your previous school to Emory University. Those classes, the expectation is that those classes must be at least 3 semester hours traditionally, because we are on a semester system. There are some colleges and universities and community colleges that do use a quarter system. So what has to happen is there's a conversion that happens when you transfer to Emory University, and we do round up to 3 semester hours once those are converted. One other caveat is we cannot grant and will not grant credit for pass fail or credit or no credit courses, with the exception of classes that were taken during the spring of 2020. We know that that was the start of the COVID-19 pandemic, and a lot of schools adopted that policy pass fail because there's just so much going on. Didn't want to put too much pressure on young people who were dealing with so much, but that is the one exception for the rule. So the expectation is that you have taken courses that you received actual grade for. What can you appeal, which is what you really care about, right? So anything approved to count as a transfer elective that seems like it may meet a GRE, right? A general education requirement. Those are the things that you will be able to transfer. Again, 100, 200 level general courses and all of your core classes for the most part, and elective courses. If there's something in the non-transferable courses section, because we don't have a corresponding class or department, you also have the option to use it or call it a special topics category that happens. So for instance, let's say your foreign language was, you took sign language courses, like a sign language sequence. And that's not something that is offered here at Emory University. And so we would absolutely accept that. It would just fall under like a special topic category. And all course equivalencies that you would like will be considered. It does not mean it's going to be approved, but I would say to anyone, you fight for those classes that you have taken at your previous school, fight for those. Now, the appeals process is pretty simple and straightforward. We did not make it lengthy and cumbersome. Here is the link to the application, and it does not ask for very much other than your name, your contact information, the name and address of the school that you are transferring from, and then you can apply for multiple courses. I've seen some applications this year. I think the most I've seen so far this cycle is 13. That one student applied for 13 courses to be reviewed and possibly receive credit approval for. So you're going to need to know the course title, the description. You have to know how many credit hours that the course receives. And remember, traditionally, most schools are on a semester system, so that the expectation is that it's 3 or higher. And if it's not, that's okay, still submit it. But there will be a process where we'll have to figure out how to, mathematically match those credits if you came from a school that was on a quarter system. What I would say is the most important piece of information that you must submit when you are going through this transfer credit appeal process is going to be the submission of the syllabi. I literally had a student email me earlier this week, and she was like, "Hi, I'm applying for a TCA, and 2 of the courses that I'm applying for, I don't have the syllabus. So I'm just letting you know that, but I'm still going to submit it." Well, I had to email her back and let her know that's going to automatically get you a denial, right? If you are submitting, the purpose of submitting the syllabus is essentially for the professor in a department to review. It's kind of hard for a professor to assess whether or not, or what would be the equivalent of a course if you don't give them any documentation to support the argument you're making, right? So that's what the syllabus is for. I mean, if you've taken these classes, you should have the syllabus, or hopefully, a soft copy is available you can find online. If that is not the case, if you are having trouble locating the syllabus of a course you took a year and a half ago, you just don't know where it is, reach out to the professor or reach out to the department head. They typically are super resourceful and willing to send you the summer version or the fall or the spring version of the syllabi. They don't typically change very much from semester to semester. So that's an easy document to get, but you must have it. It is the one piece of the application that must be there in order to actually get an approval. I think the second most important piece of the application that you must have is going to be the course equivalent. And there are some courses, I see this sometimes with English, history, QTM, and mathematics, where, the way that the course description is read, you're like, wow, well, this looks like this could be this class in sociology, but it could also be this class in psychology, or this could be an English course. This also looks like this could be a history course. Put them both down. It's okay on the application to have the name of the course you took at your previous school, and then where the next section asks you, well, what is the course equivalent at Emory University? It's absolutely okay for you to say, I believe it's English 1125 or History 283. Like, it's totally okay for you to have two options to choose from. It actually makes my job easier because then I can send it to two departments and it gives you a better chance of possibly getting told yes rather than no. So again, you will submit, you can submit one course per transfer credit appeal, or you can submit multiple courses. Like I said, the most I've seen so far this application cycle has been 13. The decision in College Connect will be released once a response is back from all courses. So if you do submit an application to me, let's say Friday afternoon, I'll see it Monday morning when I come in fresh and early. I'll submit that application. Let's say it's got 6 different courses from 4 different departments. Remember, that's 4 different departments I've got to send it out to: econ, chemistry, biology, physics, so all different departments. The professor who reads for math might look at it the same day. The professor who reads for physics might not see it for a week and a half. It really just depends. But I'm not going to give you a response until I get all of the course approvals or denials back. So you must be patient in this process. It does typically take between 1 to 4 weeks. And like I said, you can submit multiple credits for approval. I spoke with a parent earlier today and she was like, well, my daughter initially didn't get approved for this specific class. What should we do? I was like, well, there are a lot of courses that possibly won't be approved initially when you go through admissions. Submit it. What's the worst that could happen, right? Admissions already said no, but it's okay. You can submit the appeal to me. I'm going to send it directly to the departments and maybe you'll get a yes. So if there are things that were already denied, it's okay. Submit everything for review. What's the worst that could happen is kind of the philosophy I have. And if you disagree with the response on your transfer credit appeal, you can resubmit the course again for review or for another course for re-review. But again, if that were to happen, there's probably a specific reason. So I've seen it once or twice this summer where the syllabus that was submitted was not really the syllabus that corresponded with the current version of the class. And that one was rejected. The professors typically do a great job of leaving detailed notes as to why a course was not approved. And if you can show proof, more documentation, that what the reason why they decided it wasn't going to be approved was not accurate, you're welcome to resubmit an application. I saw that happen specifically where a young lady was applying for approval for a math course. And at this particular school on the syllabus, it said that they allowed them to use specialized calculators. Well, the calculus courses taught at Emory University, they don't allow that. Everything has to be done, I guess, by hand. And so she was originally denied. The math professor put the note in the application I related to the student, and she was like, oh, no, that's not the case. They don't let us use calculators. She reached out to the school's professor. He emailed me personally to let me know, no, we do not let them use calculators. And I will ensure, since this is a strict policy at Emory, that during testing, we won't allow her to use a calculator. And then the professor changed his mind and he approved it. So it's absolute, I promise you it can happen. So here are a few courses that are tricky when it comes to TCA. Chemistry, our sequence tends to be pretty different from the majority of the structure of our chemistry course tends to be different from what we see on other colleges and universities. And so most general chemistry 2 courses come in a non-equivalent elective. And again, this is going to be specific to different degree tracks on what you will or what you don't need, but you'll need to talk to your academic advisor about how that could potentially work. I would say another really tricky course is QTM 100 and QTM 210. They are courses that typically do not garner approval, no matter how hard you try. It is simply the way the course is taught and the script that is used to teach the course. And they are very, very strict about it's receiving approval for these courses, mainly because if you don't have the foundation that is built in QTM 100, it is really hard to take upper level courses in the same field. Meaning you never had the foundation to take upper level courses and you're going to really struggle. So they really honestly want their students to take Emory's version of the intro course. Economics is also special. Econ specifically does not grant economics GER credit to anything other than intro level econ, meaning intro to macroeconomics, intro to microeconomics. Everything outside of that is an automatic denial per a directive from our econ department. There are no exceptions to that rule. So anyone transferring in anything other than like I said, intro to econ, it's going to be an automatic denial. You're going to have to take all your econ classes here. Same thing goes for the business schools. They have a very strict policy as well. I am not going to read everything at the top for you. You're all super smart. Feel free to take a picture of this slide and look it over. But essentially, that's a breakdown of what courses are acceptable and you're able to transfer them, and the courses that are not. And it's also an exception to the rule that my department, OUE, does not process any business requests. So for those of you who have already submitted an application or will be submitting an application in the coming weeks, if you hear from me and I say, I'm not able to process your business course request, don't be discouraged by that. You do still have the ability to apply for a TCA, but you have to do it directly through the business school. And the point person for that is Anna Gibbons. And her information is located there at the bottom. So if you already know, like I'm transferring in as a business student, or I want to receive credit for those business courses, you do need to email her along with your course syllabus. to fulfill those requests. So anyone who has already submitted a TCA application to me and you've applied for business courses, they are going to be denied, but that does not mean they won't count. It just means my department does not process those requests. We're just going to do strictly those general GER courses, those specified courses, very specific courses like business. They have to go through the business school. They have their own personal application process that, again, is run by Anna Gibbons. And that is kind of the end, well, not kind of, that's the end of my presentation. So at this point, Christina, if there is anyone who has a question, they are welcome to come off mute and ask, or if you don't feel comfortable talking in the Zoom space, I'll go ahead and leave you guys with my email address. It is AO, T as in Tom, AR, V as in Victor, E, at emory.edu. Again, ATARVE at emory.edu.
Great. Thank you so much, Ashley. That was super informative even for me. So I'm excited to get this put up on the website for everyone to look at. There are no questions in the chat from our couple participants. So I'll go ahead and stop recording.